Hey Maplers, Coppersan here. In a previous video I got a hero to level 200 in about 3 days with no funding whatsoever. In this video I'm going to show you exactly what I did, when I did it, how I did it. I'm in the Luna server, but I won't be trading anything. So technically it's not Reboot, but you could use it for Reboot as well, but keep in mind of course are some differences. We won't be transferring any Mesos, potions, items whatsoever. I do have some link skills and my Legion effects though. But let's kick things off. Until level 30 you can train wherever you want. I prefer to go to Edelstein near the Vern Mine, but you don't need to do this. You can do whatever you want, it's your story. However, from level 30 until level 50 we'll be going through 2 team dungeons. The first one is the LNL Ferry Academy. Completing this team dungeon rewards an eye accessory, cape and a glove, as well as 200 spell traces and 1 million Meso. Defeat the Mole King boss at the end of this dungeon a couple of times to get more scrolls needed to upgrade the fairy cape that you just got. Each scroll gives the cape +1 all stats, and of course it's not a lot, but the stronger we are the easier it will be to level up. After that team dungeon is done, we go to the Arena Straight team dungeon. This dungeon rewards a belt and a face accessory, 2 types of items which are pretty hard to come by until we reach a higher level, so we can use those items to Starforce later. Completing this team dungeon also rewards you with 200 spell traces and another million Mesos. So now we have 400 spell traces and 2 million Mesos already, and we ain't even level 60 yet. After that I recommend to train a bit more at the Coppersan Drakes in Sleepywood until you reach level 60. After reaching your 3rd job advancement, travel to Ardenville. There you can learn mining and harvesting. This we will use to gather some resources later. And if you're playing a class which is very potion hungry, you can also learn alchemy to create potions to lower the cost of training. We're playing a hero though, so we don't need a lot of potions for now. And as you can see, we're already mining experts. I'm not sure what's going on here. Harvesting and crafting also boost character traits, which will give small buffs, and each different trait has a different buff. Think about stuff like ignore enemy defense, scroll success chance and buff duration. Being an alchemist who is able to fuse is also pretty useful for getting your charm to a higher level. A high level charm unlocks your pocket slot, which can be pretty useful. Now before we continue, at the left side of your screen there is a quest icon. Look for the quest called Do you know about Starforce, have you learned about pets and anything else that sounds similar to that. They're pretty low level. These quests reward various items and a free pet, which is really nice because you won't have to loot anymore when your pet is out and about. Reaching level 60 also means we get to participate in events. At the time of this video the Pixel event is active. During this event you can get a nice buff for your character and some special skills. So make sure to look out for any events active when you're playing. Once all of that is done, we're continuing our training session at Stairway to the Sky 1 in Orbis. If you ever see one of these bounty hunter portals, always go in them. The rewards contain awesome stuff like cubes and spell traces, which we will need. If you are on Reboot, then of course you can ignore the spell traces, you can't use those in Reboot. But if you're on a regular server, get all the spell traces you can, like seriously. At level 79 I went to the Ariant Desert to train at those desert rabbits, they're on the right side of Ariant. This is a nice big map for heroes, you can just use the rush kill and you can get across pretty easily. We stayed there until we reached level 92. After that I went to kill regular Zakum with a rune on and a 2-time EXP card that I got from an event. Defeating normal Zakum is essential to our plan. Zakum can be fought once a day, but this boss drops so much good stuff. It drops a good face accessory and eye accessory, which are part of a boss set effect. It drops a boss crystal, which can be sold at the free market for Meso. It can drop level 110 weapons, and we actually found one. Sweet, we'll be using that from now on. But if you are unlucky and you can't find any weapons, you can also buy lower level weapons at Lidibrium. But to be honest, I usually just live off the streets, you know, just whatever the world gives me I take and that's it. But if you're really in need of a new weapon, you could go there to buy one. Zakum also has a chance to drop a Zakum helmet, which has some awesome stats. Plus wearing one will give you 50 charm. And if you have multiple helmets, don't drop them, instead fuse them together so you can use 2 helmets to create another one using alchemy, and that will allow you to get an additional 50 charm. Remember, this is needed to open the pocket slot in your equipment. And finally, Zakum also drops Crusader coins, which will be important later on. If you find this video useful, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay up to date for any new videos. Now we already reached the 4th job advancement because we got so much EXP, and we're going to spell trace and Starforce all the lower level gear items. I recommend to Starforce all the stuff that you got from the team dungeons. You can use the buttons at the bottom of your inventory to upgrade your gear. This won't cost more than a couple of spell traces and some Mesos because everything is so low level. You will need only 5 Starforce for this map, but it doesn't hurt to have a little bit more. Stay at Skynest 2 and Livre until you hit level 110. For job actually gets pretty expensive because you have to buy mastery books to get your skills to level 20 and 30. To get more Mesos, we're going to participate in the Maple Tour. This content can be accessed through the Dimensional Mirror, and there is a special NPC which looks a bit like a bus stop in certain towns as well. You can complete this dungeon twice a day, and it won't reward you with EXP, but it does reward you with Meso. Once you complete a run, you can build up a reward balance. You can either choose to claim that balance right away, or wait a week so you can double the amount of Mesos. Since I need Mesos right now, I will just claim them because I have no patience, but you don't have to. At this point, we're getting about 1 million Meso every run, and the higher level you are, the more you will get, so make sure to do it twice a day. For completing a run, you will also get a coin. This coin can be used in a special store, which is in the same map, and here you can buy 100 power elixirs for 1 coin, and 100 spell traces for 5 coins. So not only do you get Meso, you can also pick up 200 power elixirs, basically for free, every day. Next, we're doing another dungeon called Monster Park. This one is also accessible through the mirror or to special Monster Park Jeeps NPCs which are in some towns. This dungeon actually does reward a lot of EXP, and at this level you can get practically a level for every run that you do. You can also get coins which can be used to buy special equipment, potions that give you an EXP buff or an attack speed buff or a damage buff, which is very useful stuff and it's great EXP. You can do this dungeon twice a day and make sure to do it every day. At this point, we're using most of our Mesos for Starforcing, because for the next training spot we need 25 Starforce. So again, I just scrolled and Starforced all the lower level stuff that I had, mostly the accessories that I got from the teen dungeons, because we won't be replacing those for a while anyway, unless we get really lucky with boss drops. Our next training spot is Dual Ghost Pirates in the Dibrium, and we stayed here until we reached level 129. We sold all the drops that we found, and we have almost 4 mil again at this point. Nice! Next up is Lion King Castle. This is an area in El Nat which we definitely want to complete. Here you can get a nice ring from a daily quest as well as Von Leyen gear, which we will be using for the rest of our journey to level 200. I prefer this gear over the normal Pinslar, whatever it's called, level 140 set, because this set effect actually gives way more boss damage. Heroes are pretty okay at bossing, and I definitely want to take a crack at that. Especially if you want to gather more boss crystals, it's definitely easier to do a bit more boss damage. The pencil set does give more damage in general against regular monsters though, so if you want to you can iterate between the two sets, but for us that's a bit too expensive at this point. After we're done completing all the quests here, we get the option to fight Von Leyen and unlock the daily quests. Yeah, but we're not ready yet. We definitely need more damage. So our next goal is to get more mastery books first so we can increase our skill levels so we can, amp up our damage a little bit. We travel to Korean Folktown to complete all the wanted quests in this area. Each quest will ask you to kill a bunch of monsters and reward you with Mesos and quite a bit of EXP actually. Once that is done, I went back to Livre to get some more mastery books. I had 9 million Mesos at this time, so that's pretty nice. And we could buy 2 mastery books. Yeah, that ain't enough. So next I went to Grand Athenaeum. This can be accessed through the Dimensional Mirror as well, and this is a story-driven dungeon, where you can experience some MapleStory lore if you're into that. Plus completing it will also reward you with a chest that will contain mastery books, nice. But there is another way to get mastery books, as well as a ton of potions, an awesome title and a nice ring. It is time to start focusing on the Silent Crusade quest. You can start this quest line from the quest marker at the left side of your screen. This questline has you travel all around the Maple world to take out boss monsters which are hiding in several portals. Each boss that you defeat drops coins, and each quest that you complete will reward you with a ton of potions and even more coins. This content is divided in chapters, and each chapter has its own reward as well. At this point, we're already past level 135, so we can complete up to chapter 3. And guess what? Completing chapter 3 rewards us with 2 mastery book boxes among a lot of other things. We can use the Crusader coins to purchase spell traces from the Silent Crusade UI, since we will be needing a lot of those to get stronger to face Von Leyen, and not to mention more mastery books. We're getting more and more books, which means we can level up most of our important skills by now. I trained until level 140 at Dark Cornians in Livre. After that I moved to Temple of Time because we need to complete all the quests there to have access to special maps which have these portals which we need to finish the Silent Crusade questline later on. At this point I also no longer needed to worry about potions since we just have so many from the Silent Crusade. It's amazing. Now that we are a little bit stronger and have access to our first hyper skill, I think it's a good time to face Von Leyen. We're able to barely solo normal Von Leyen now, which is amazing news because that means we can finally start farming those Von Leyen coins, get more cubes, another boss crystal that we can collect every day, and we also complete this area, which means we get more mastery books, yes! Completing this questline also gives access to the Rose Garden, which is further in the Lion King Castle. This unlocks a daily quest where you can gain a bunch of boxes which contain more Von Leyen coins if you're lucky, or potions and whatnot. Plus you get a nice ring which we'll be using from now on as well. I'm still using my level 110 sword at this point, so the first thing I got from the store was the Royal Von Leyen sword, which increases our damage range. Next up, it's time to finally get rid of our old accessories. We're getting a new belt, a new shoulder and another ring. We use the guide menu to travel to the Hyzen Temple. Here you can complete a dungeon while cosplaying as 3 different characters, each with their own unique skills. The boss runs in this area might be a tad difficult, but make sure to use all those potions that you got from the Silent Crusade questline. I think I used almost all of them just to beat this dungeon, it was crazy. Depending on the class you complete the dungeon with, you'll get a special item. Ayama you get a belt, with Hayato you get a shoulder, and with Kana you get a ring. They all have a great set effect, increasing your damage by 9% if you have all 3 pieces together. Definitely worthwhile to get. Now that we are a bit stronger again, I started training in the Coninck Tower. Not at the Starforce monsters though, as I still didn't have enough Mesos to Starforce all my gear. I also upgraded some of my gear, got my sword to 10 stars for example, and if you're upgrading and you have all your lower level stuff done, I recommend to upgrade your weapon and your gloves first, as those actually increase your weapon and magic attack quite a bit, depending of course on your class. So yeah, definitely make sure to do just that. This guide takes a couple of days for the sole reason that we want to get the Von Leyen set, and the boss fights and daily quests are only available once a day. So that's exactly what we're doing on day 2, we defeated Von Leyen again, did the daily quests, and we got some more Von Leyen gear. I completed all the quests in Temple of Time, except of course for fighting Pink Bean, and reached level 160. Remember what I told you, like all the way back in this video about harvesting and mining? With these professions you can mine the golden flowers and special veins that sometimes spawn in these high level maps. No one is basically mining them, but if you're lucky they can also drop cubes. So definitely go and mine and harvest that stuff. Now with the entire Temple of Time unlocked, it is time to complete the final chapter of the Silent Crusade. This rewards you with a really nice ring and a title that gives +3 all stats and 1 weapon and magic attack, plus a massive amount of potions again. But those we'll be needing for our next training spot. But first we're going to defeat the mighty Ursus. This boss has a double Meso time, which we, together with a lot of other Maplers, are going to take advantage of right now. Now this might differ per server, but in Luna, people are actually usually megaphoning when they need more people to go do Ursus. So it's super easy to find a party, and this boss isn't challenging or anything really. And he rewards a ton of Meso. During double Meso time, we gain up to 4 million. And this boss can be challenged twice a day, so that's a nice 8 million Meso every day right there for you. And of course we're using our newly found fortune to starve for some more equipment. Now at this point we can get 10 to 14 million Mesos every day by doing Ursus runs, boss runs, Zakum, Von Leyen, whatever, to get the boss crystals, and we do Maple Tour. We're in day 3 now and we just beaten Von Leyen again for the final time because we got enough coins to get the rest of the set. At first this set might not seem that amazing, but equipping all pieces does increase your damage range quite a bit because the set effect starts kicking in. Each item will come with random stats as well, which are the stats in green. Since potions aren't really a problem for us, because we're loaded right now, we train at a more potion intense training spot, which is the hideout in Showa. I think this is probably one of the fastest training spots that you can be at this point. And we stay here all the way until we reach level 180. After that we go to Future Period to train at the Swollen Stumps until level 187. Just keep upgrading your gear with the Mesos that you find and defeat more bosses, like the ones in Root Abyss and Horntail. That should not be a problem for you anymore at this point. The final training spot is Forsaken Excavation Site 2 in Future Period, where we will train until we reach level 200. At this point we're not really doing anything different, which if you are taking a bit more time to level up, you can just do the same things over and over. Ursus runs, boss runs, Maple 2 runs, and if you're running short on spell traces, defeat the bosses to get the Crusader coins, or just go inside these portals to get these Crusader coins, and trade us in for spell traces. So the missions and hunter portals can also be a good source of those spell traces as well, if you're lucky, of course, because the reward is random. And if you need potions, just get the 200 power elixirs every day for free from the Maple Tour. I hope this helps on your journey to level 200. Many thanks to our members for making this video possible. Thanks to Quin, Niels de Coninck, Raar, maar waar, Zenny, Chen125, Rarefum, Kroukur, ThePurpleFlurp and Pyroxius Gaming. If you would like early access to new videos and want to be mentioned here as well, check out the join button below this video. Thanks for watching, stay safe and happy mapling!